There are shows with psychics,
And there are shows with doctors.
but there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
And street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
in tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
Require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic.
and the doc. And it starts now.
I love that. I love that opening. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Pat, and I am really thrilled to be here today. Thank you all for tuning us in and turning us on. And if you are listening to this and you want to watch, go over to ttrnetwork.com. I am joined by my amazing colleague. And by the way, there's so many things you can find out. You can go to Evidence of Eternity. I think that's one of his sites.
Yeah.
It's Mark Anthony, your Mark Anthony JD, psychic lawyer, and AKA Psychic Explorer. I know I got to come up with a really short acronym, but for those of you that know Mark, needs no introduction. For those of you that don't, let me say this. What I love about my colleague is I learn something every time we do a show or we do something together. I also learn something about how to live life and how to take better care of oneself. And I think that part of this is when you know Mark and you look at his journey, Oxford educated attorney. I don't know if he does that anymore, but maybe, but he appears on television, on radio, magazine covers. He's award winning. I mean, he does all this in service of you all. See, that's it. Because if you wake up and you find out you got the gift to be a psychic medium, I'm not saying, but I'm going to say it. You better learn the tenacity to live life full out, because that gift, that talent, what you do in the world, if you ain't got some tenacity, if you don't have something, a burr under your saddle for the journey that you must take, and I say must take it, because when there's a calling, you see, no way I could have got out of doing this. I tried. 2025, I thought that's the end. But Spirit, the God of your understanding, Mark, his journey, thousands of people. He travels around the world. He's been on television shows where the enlightenment part of what we call the paranormal or the psychic or psychic mediumship is honored. And that's so important. Now, why did this topic get picked? And Mark, thank you for today. It's great to have you here. We got callers calling in like crazy.
All right.
Which I love. We're here for all of you. And I'm telling you, this is a privilege and an honor, isn't it? I want to hear from you because I found myself so grateful. Somebody said, why are you so grateful? And I'm like, okay, like I didn't know I had to have a reason. Thank you for being my co-host. What about the tenacity to live life full out that hits you smack in a jaw? Like that, like Popeye.
This is so like Popeye. I love Popeye.
That's all.
I was a little kid. I decided I liked spinach because of Popeye, and I still like spinach. But this is a very inspiring topic: the tenacity to live full out. Do you have it? It's very easy to let the funk and gunk, the circumstances, the negative circumstances of life drag us down and keep us mired in a pit. And one of the reasons I love working with you, Dr. Pat, is you were not born with a silver spoon in your life and a privileged existence. You had a very difficult childhood. Then you found yourself on the streets. I mean, by all accounts, you should be living in a cardboard box under a bridge somewhere.
That's
But
right.
you didn't
I've done
let
that.
Well, you did that, but you didn't stay there. because you had the tenacity to live full out. Pull yourself out of that, get employed, become a behavioral psychologist to the point where you have a PhD. And I'm sure our listeners, we have a sophisticated audience. You know, PhD, that's not just a bachelor's degree, that's not just a master's degree, that's the triple crown, the PhD. That's not an easy thing to do. And then you started the Dr. Pat Show, which you're still doing, and then you created the Transformation Network. Now, Transformation Network isn't the tenacity to live full out what all the shows on Transformation Network are about. And that's what we try to do here, is to listen to people. I mean, I'll make connections with their loved ones in spirit. Dr. Pat helps people understand the symbolism, the metaphors, and to be able to she looks at the messages I receive from an objective third party standpoint. And because Dr. Pat is not the one receiving the reading, she's not in that emotional headlight coming right at her. Because you'll say to the caller, well, wait a second, have you thought about this? Look at it this way. And then the callers will say, oh my gosh. And that helps, that intensifies the healing, the synergistic effect of healing, that's what the psychic and the doc is all about. So the tenacity to live. You know, it's funny because people will say, oh, Dr. Pat's got a PhD and she's a doctor and you're a lawyer. Well, when I graduated law school, nobody handed me a trust fund, okay? What I got handed was a lot of student loan repayment and the difficulty of starting at the bottom rung of the legal profession, and I had to climb my way up. And I'm not complaining about it, because all that adversity and all that difficulty are all part of the experiences that make me who I am. And that is what Dr. Pat and I want to impart upon everyone is, yes, everybody's gone through some type of difficulty. Not everyone had that Brady Bunch, ooey gooey childhood. Maybe not everyone, is living the life of Riley and life is easy for them. We have difficulties. You lose loved ones, failed relationships, financial problems, health problems. But all of that pain is part of what makes us who we are. And by overcoming those obstacles, you really do grow and you get stronger.
Yeah. And you know what I love about this? I want to talk about the word tenacity because, me growing up, I don't know that it was ever used towards me positively. So I had a bad taste in my mouth. But I'll tell you, Linda said to me, why you picked this show title, right? And I said, there are two things there's several things happening in the world. And despite what's happening in the world, do you have the ability to live an amazing life? Now, the show is not called The Ability to Live an Amazing Life, because tenacity comes from tenacious. And when somebody calls you that, you're like, what? But it means courage. It's courage, it's spirit, it's resolution, right? Mental, moral strength to resist opposition, danger, and hardship. And so you were the shining light for this show. But I got to tell you who else was. Well, I know you're not going to guess.
Well, shining light for this show? Well, Linda.
Because it showed up for me, though, this week. Now, I'm an athlete. I've won championships. I've coached softball teams for women to championships, won championships. I've been part of sports since early that I could remember. I can't even think how far back. And I've coached women. And I understand what happens on teams sometimes, especially with your team, your sponsor. We had sponsor right here in Jersey, D&R Boats down the street. But what got me under my skin right now is what I'm watching and what I'm hearing the pundits or the podcasters talk about. See, I don't know how Caitlin Clark is doing what she's doing and keeping her head up high. I don't know. Now, this is not a women's basketball show, But anybody out there that knows Caitlin Clark and how she's handling this situation, and now Sophie Cunningham, I had to do this show because these are people that are role models for us, and they're causing quite a buzz. But I don't want you to look at them or Mark or me as that. I want you to embrace yourself and have the tenacity to look at your life where you are now, regardless of where it is, and love it. And then plan to take what you have and live life full out. Does that make sense to you, Mark?
Yeah, it absolutely does. I love the word tenacious. It's one of
Yes.
those $1.25. It just
Oh
sounds
my
cool.
God.
Tenacious. I know when I think of a tenacious, you think of like an octopus taking all 8 arms and holding on to something like, oh, I'm not letting go. And we have to do that in life
Ah,
sometimes. You got to hang on. Adversity's coming.
yeah.
Life hits you like a tsunami, and you got to be tenacious and hang on. And speaking of, okay, hold on. We have a message from a listener. Okay.
Go ahead.
Um, okay, this is from Derek from Ontario. I'm interested in both of your experiences about being your tenacious
Oh,
selves in
come on
corporate
now.
environment.
Oh
Is
yeah.
there a place for it best to prove it for your spiritual career? Okay, Dr. Pat, go
You
right
know,
ahead.
so let me just say this to Derek. Derek, you know what we'll do? The next show Mark and I do together, we will tackle this one. We'll make this the theme. But here's what I'm going to say. I have 25 years of big corporate experience, like Fortune 50 companies. Then I have boutique consulting experiences, still the same thing. Here's what I want to say. And I've been on the sides of integrity that nobody wants to be on with corporate administration. So there are times in life when you are in an environment where you don't match it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stay with spiritually match it. Your spiritual values, whatever they are, doesn't matter. You could be Christian, Baha'i, it doesn't matter. Whatever they are, when you are at a misalignment is like the earthquake, tectonic plates. If you ever lived in California, I went to school in California, it's like the plates. And once you hear the rattle and the earth separates, that's out of alignment. You see, now take that 20 times more about your mental, physical, spiritual self. If you get a shockwave in your corporation about something that's not matching you, you got to do something about it.
Yes.
Now, this is the last thing I want to say about it. There are only 3 things you can do. 1, you can stay. But if you stay, you have to really build up that spiritual muscle. You got to build up your forgiveness muscle. You got to build up and I'm so glad you brought this up because I don't know what Caitlin Clark muscle is building up with Stephanie White as a coach. I just say it. The next thing is you don't stay and you leave. Now, I've done both of those. You don't stay, you leave. Right, Mark? You understand? You've been in the same situation. You had to
I
do the
have.
same thing.
Oh, I had to be in when I was a prosecutor in a big government organization,
Mhm.
and I was always the odd one out. It seemed like um, I never really fit into the corporate
Yeah,
structure, whether it was in government or in private practice when I was with a
right.
big firm, and because I have my way of doing things. I have my belief system, and people always thought I was a little bit weird, because I didn't talk about being a medium. I didn't talk about being psychic, and they go, "That guy's really weird." But then they'd see me in court, and they go, "Oh, watch out for this guy." I remember hearing they said, "Watch out for that guy. He seems to know things about people that he shouldn't know." And because, being psychic is part of my skill set, and certainly in selecting juries and when I would be cross-examining
Yeah,
witnesses, I would get things about them
yeah.
and say, "Oh, by the way," and and you have to be tenacious and be yourself. And what I found was that instead of trying to fit into these organizations, I founded my own law firm.
Exactly.
And I remember my first rule was no stupid rules, because all these other organizations have the
Yeah.
most idiotic rules and
Yeah.
policies. You've got to be fluid with your employees. You've got to be understanding. They have kids, they have problems. You got to do that, but also you can't let yourself be taken advantage of. And the thing, Derek, that I'd like to say is that it's very easy to be enlightened and spiritual when you're sitting on a mountaintop and everything's home and beautiful. It's when you're in a
Yeah.
courtroom, when
Yeah.
you're in a boardroom, when you are the odd one out in corporate America. And the best business advice comes from, I believe, the greatest teacher of all time, Jesus, who's told people to treat others the way you want to be treated. Now, that doesn't mean be a pushover.
No.
Treat people with respect and dignity until they give you a reason to do otherwise.
Yeah. And Derek, one last thing for you. Here's my experience. Some days you wake up and you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. And you're in your big fancy house and you go into work. And you know that day you're going into work, that your boss yesterday asked you to fire a woman, Janine, who had 29 years, 11 months of service. We were in the middle of a downsizing, the second in the United States. And I was to implement it. And it was fair until it wasn't. And so here I go in. And that day, when I do a keynote, this is what I say. I say, on that day, an alien baby took over my body, dearly guided by God. And I looked at my boss and I said, I am not effing, and I did say this, you don't want to do this, Derek. I'm not firing her. I'm not going to fire her. It's immoral. 1 month from a full pension. You can take my head count. My boss took my head count. I had 25 years of service. I was 6 months from a full pension, and I didn't care. And I found Janine a transfer so she could get her pension. That's tenacity. If you're ever in a room with me and I'm looking you at the face and you see me coming at you about something that's immoral, unethical, or just disgraceful, you're going to hear from me. I don't have the silencing mechanism of a Caitlin Clark or a Sophie Cunningham. I don't have it. But I will tell you this. They're my two tenacity people of the week. Sophie Cunningham, from having courage and not following a plan because on the floor it didn't look right. I didn't follow the plan. And it cost me, just like it's costing those two ladies now. But for you, Derek, you got to step back and you got to go to the God of your understanding, and then you will know what to do. Got it? How about a short break, Miss Jessica? When we come back, we're hitting the phones.
I'm Mark Anthony, author of The Afterlife Frequency. But don't expect a dry treatise. This book educates, entertains, and reads like a juicy novel.
Joining us today is psychic lawyer Mark Anthony. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I don't think there's another person on the planet anywhere who shares this guy's resume.
He's been on Coast to Coast, a radio show with me for years. He's a psychic lawyer, but he's the real deal.
This book also provides hope in coping with grief, crime, murder, PTSD, and survivor's guilt. The Afterlife Frequency teaches you my 4-step raft technique. Recognize spirit contact, accept it as real, feel it without fear, and trust the message.
Hey everybody, oh my goodness, we have got talk radio for all of it.
Really, thank you for blazing the trail for women in talk radio and just being such an inspiration to me and so many other people. What you're doing is so awesome. And, without people like you there to really step out of the box and go for it, I don't know if someone like me would have ever ended up here, but I'm so happy to be here. And I just want to thank you for everything you're doing. You're one of my major inspirations.
What if your training isn't enough? The Multicultural Mindset Podcast invites counselors and therapists to unlearn the one-size-fits-all approach. This isn't cultural competence. It's a way of being that brings racialized experiences from the margins to the very center of care. Let's stop pathologizing Black pain and start challenging the system that created the bias in the first place. Visit newseasons.training to subscribe.
Want a speaker who can inspire your audience and keep them laughing and learning all in the same moment? I'm Erica Gemini, and that's exactly what I hope to do when blending personal stories, deeper spiritual insights, and practical wisdom with a whole lot of humor that keeps everyone engaged. My intention is to create safe, transformative spaces where real growth and connection happen. Book me to speak or facilitate something amazing at yourpivotalpoint.com.
Tune in to Break Free and Trust, a redesign for living, with me, Jacqueline.
And me, Chris, on Transformation Talk Radio, every second and fourth Monday at 3 p.m.
Learn to connect with your intrinsic power to grow and to heal, and how to laugh at your own humanness and not take life too seriously.
Witness the field of potential that arises when you take personal responsibility and become the divine creator in your own life.
Visit theway-healing.com for more information.
Goodness, that was great. Thank you, Jessica. That was good. That got us all fired up. We should have the outtakes. Mark, why don't we go to the phones? But before we go to the phones.
Yeah, real quick. I want to let everyone know I will be in Denver next week. I'll be one of the keynotes at the Society for Scientific Exploration. And make sure next week you tune in to KUSA, the NBC affiliate in Denver, because I will be on the morning show there. And so the Society for Scientific Exploration, it's going to be a fascinating conference. We got the likes of Dr. Dean Radin speaking there, who's the head of the Institute of Noetic Sciences. On Saturday, June 20th, I will be giving a keynote presentation, Rulers, Royals, Psychics, and Spirits, Mysticism Behind the Thrones of Power. And this is going to be a really fascinating discussion through history where powerful people, from ancient rulers to, get this, almost a third of U.S. presidents have had psychic advisors behind the scenes. And then on Sunday, which is Father's Day, we're doing a special summer solstice spirit communication from 9 to 11 a.m. local time, where I'll be connecting random audience members with their loved ones in spirit. And then on Monday, June 22nd, at For Heaven's Sake Bookstore in Denver, I will be conducting a light circle limited to 6 people, so everybody gets a reading. To find out about all of these things and to get your tickets, please visit my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com, just like my website, or just like my latest book, afterlifefrequency.com. So Dr. Pat, I know you got unstuckable.com, and people can go
we're
to Dr.
redoing
Pat's.
everything with Unstuckable. We also, TTR Network is what people are able to watch this on right now, and certainly the Transformation Network. But if you want to stay in tune, sign up for a newsletter, do all of the above. Right now, we're going to hop over to the phone, get you some information from Mark and others. Jessica, who do we have first?
Yes, absolutely. Let's go to James from California. James, welcome to the show.
Hello? Hey, James, how can we help you?
Yes, I had a strange experience last week. I just wanted to know what Dr. Anthony thinks about it.
Yes, sir, Dr. Anthony.
Okay, well,
come on now.
So what was your strange experience?
Okay, last week when I went to bed, during the first 1 or 2 minutes, so I was not dreaming. I just went to bed, and then about 1 or 2 minutes, I definitely heard in my mind the loud voice of my deceased brother, who just said one word, and that one word was my nickname. And I was just, I missed him so much 4 years ago, he passed away, and I'm just hoping that that was a sign from him.
Yeah, I definitely it was. And let me tell you, what you said that you weren't asleep, but you were in bed. What happens?
I just went to bed.
Well,
I just
hold
went to
on,
bed,
James.
and yes,
James,
yes.
hold on.
Hang on a
Let
minute.
me
Okay.
explain. We have 5 main brainwave frequencies, and with the awake brainwave frequencies is beta. And when you go to bed, you start to shift from beta into alpha. Alpha is where you begin to relax. You get into the meditative, almost the daydream state. Theta is the sleep state, where you go into the dream state. All of these can be measured through EEG, electroencephalogram, and it's around 8 hertz, which is on the alpha theta border. And the alpha theta border at 8 hertz is where psychic and mediumistic activity occur. So you had slipped into that 8 hertz frequency, which spirits can spot, and they will bring their frequency to align with that. Your brother gave you your nickname, which was something between you and him. Interesting. Is there anything going on with your reflexes? And the reason that I'm saying this is because the male spirit that's communicating with me, you know, when you go to the doctor and they take that rubber, it looks like a tomahawk, and they hit your knee to see if you can, kick, and they test your reflexes. So your brother could be pointing out that there may be something going on with you from a neurological standpoint. Could be something going on with your knees or your reflexes or your neurological system. Is there anything going on with you neurologically, James? Or that maybe you should get checked?
No, except that during the last 4 years, I've been just in deep grief because of his death.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to be very careful about your neurological system, your reflexes. I don't know when the last time you went to the doctor, but I think what your brother is encouraging you to do is to go to a doctor for a regular checkup, because the reflexes that he's showing me, that's a standard part of a standard physical checkup. So you need to get a checkup. That's what he wants you to know. Also, he's making me taste watermelon, and of course I associate that with July, which obviously is coming up next month, and 4th of July. Is there something in particular, a birth, death, anniversary, or event of significance connected to you, James, in any way, or someone close to you, either planet Earth or in spirit, or something about potassium, because watermelons are rich in potassium? Anything there? Anything coming up in July, or any births, deaths, anniversaries, or events in July?
No, except that my father's business, he's dead, of course, by now. I'm 89. My father was in the watermelon business.
So instead of no, the response should have been yes. My father was in the watermelon business.
Oh my gosh.
So we not only have your brother here, but we got your dad in spirit coming through. Okay. And so, James, take heart knowing that you got a powerful A-team of spirits around you and aware of what's going on. And try to get in for a medical exam. But let's make sure that your knees, your legs are going to be they're going to be checked out to make sure you're okay. Dr. Pat.
The only thing I have to say is I really honor your journey, the journey you're on. Look, losing a loved one like that, the heart hurts. But I want to leave you with something. I don't want to diminish your pain, but I want to leave you with something, and it's a question. I was asked once after the loss of my mom, and then right almost after the loss of my sister, 2 of them extremely sudden. It was in 2 of the most tenacious years of my life. And I went to get help. I went to therapy because I knew to do that. And my therapist looked at me, Dr. Juanita Lovett, looked at me and said, Pat, they're not gone. they're enjoying the place they're at. Do you think they want you to stop living life full out? Do you think that everything they've done for you, all the years, the relationship, the love, the closeness, everything your mom taught you, do you think she did that for you to be able to, for you to stop life now? For you to stop living at the soul level?
Yes.
And my answer was no. But I don't know how to find my meaning and my purpose in this moment. And she said, you don't need to know it in this moment. You just need to know that should be something you look to do.
Okay.
You understand? Grieving is important. But the people that move on, Mark, you know this better than anybody. Yeah. The people that move on are not looking from wherever they are saying, Pat, I'm gone, you need to stop living. They're not doing that.
No,
if
not
anything,
at all.
My stepmom would be highly disappointed, I'm sure, of me. She still loved me, but if I didn't keep moving on with my life at that point, what did she teach me? So can you find a way to focus on you?
Okay. Thank you.
Does that make sense to you, James? Is that making sense at all?
Yes, because I really don't want to live.
That's exactly what I thought. But that's not, you understand, that's not what they're saying to you, right?
Okay. Thank you so much.
How old are you? How old?
89.
Yeah. You see, that's the age of my table tennis coach. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
You don't need to think about dying or leaving this planet. Do you want to know why? Because when the time comes, you're not going to have to think about it. And I'm telling you, go to a support group. Mark, what is this? Get some help, James.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, yeah, you leaving this planet by your own hand or otherwise, that's not a solution.
No, that sets off a whole chain reaction of karma that you don't want.
Right.
There's got to be.
But go get some help and support. Where can you go?
Senior centers, places like that where you can interact with people in your age range.
Where's the grieving group?
Yeah.
What's the grieving group name? What's the name of the grieving group? The grief group that you work with.
Well, that's Helping Parents Heal. So I don't know. But the thing about Helping Parents Heal, they're working on a siblings division.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult for people who've lost siblings because you never hear about a group to counsel siblings. So I would start with the senior center because they're going to welcome you with open arms, and they have group counseling sessions. And, by going to counseling, it doesn't mean you're crazy. It means, you need to talk and interact with people who can relate to what you're going through. Don't go through grief alone, James.
Yeah. And James, I have one question for you. We need to make sure you're not going to do anything to harm yourself right now.
Oh, no. I have no idea to harm myself. I'm just saying I'm happy to die any day. That's all.
Yeah, gosh, you sound just like my mama. Jay, look it. What can you do, James, tomorrow? Are you able to get out of your house? Tell me a little bit. Can you go to the Y? Can you go to the senior center like Mark said? Is there any of that you can do?
I have to hire a caregiver because I took some medicine for prostate cancer and it took away all of my muscle mass. So I have to,
Are you in physical therapy?
No, I just not really. I just do some exercises, but that's about all.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say to you, James, is hire the person. Get out of the house. Feel the sunshine. Do you understand what I'm saying? This show is called The Tenacity to Live Life Full Out. And remember at the beginning, what we said was very simple. It doesn't matter where you are in life. I was homeless. I get it. But for you, fuel living. Hire the person that could get you in a car. I don't know where you live, but take you you're in California, take you on a ride, just do something to demonstrate to yourself that you're alive. Does that make sense?
Yes, I realize that.
Okay. Well, I'm not telling you to go skydiving, so I don't want to hear from you that like you went skydiving and you broke your neck or something. Okay.
Right,
all right,
right.
You got that? But by the way, they do tandem skydiving, so that okay. I'm not going to say it.
Right.
Thanks, James. Thank you for calling
thank you,
in,
James.
and thank you for the watermelon demonstration. Unbelievable. Oh my God, Mark.
Wow.
How did you come up with that?
It just, I see a
How
watermelon
the heck
and I
did
could
you
taste
come up
it.
with the
And
watermelon?
see, when he said that
Oh.
he had cancer and it took away his muscle mass, that's what the reflexes
That's
message
what I was
is
going to
all
say.
about. Yeah, well, what it is, people don't understand a lot
You
of
nailed
times the
it.
symbolism and the metaphor. And I'm not faulting James in any
No.
way. I do this all the time, and you're part of when I'm doing this all the time, so you understand the metaphors, because a lot of people think, no, I don't need one of those tests, but that's what's going on. There is the neurological system, the muscle mass. That's what that meant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What a rock star you are, James. Okay, who's next?
We will go to Kathleen from Kentucky. Kathleen, welcome to the show.
Hi, Kathleen. How are you?
Doing good.
Say it again.
I said I'm doing good.
Oh, yeah, you are. Sounds great. Hey, how can we help you tonight?
Well, I had a very odd experience last week.
This is a show for that.
This must be odd experience episode. Okay, go ahead, Kathleen.
Well,
tell us about your odd experience.
I had two people to help. One was my brother, who's in Eastern Kentucky. He was supposed to have a PET scan. They know there's cancer. They just don't know where it all is. And my best friend, she had a heart attack and a stroke and fell, and she was in ICU up in Dayton, Ohio. And I'm like, okay, who do I go to first? And I was told that my brother had a ride to the doctor so I could go see my friend. So I went to my friend first, and it was strange. I did stay at her apartment after I visited her. Her brother was there. And you keep in mind, she's like 82 years old-ish, So, do you know the painting called The Scream?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. When somebody is close to dying, in certain people, I can actually see that in their face.
Yeah.
And I don't see it as something that's scary. I see it as a heads up from above.
Right.
Okay. So I went in there to see her right away, and her eyes were half open, and she actually reached up to me. And to me, it looked like she recognized me. But her brother kept swearing up and down, no, she's got dementia. She wouldn't recognize anybody. But I didn't listen to him. And I kept telling him, no, she's not going to die. She was intubated, so they were going to take out the tube the next day, which is why I rushed to her, because we all thought she was going to die. She's still alive, by the way. She's not in ICU anymore. I don't know how long she's got, but anyways, that night I stayed I slept in her bed, and her husband died in 1984, and I saw him in a dream, and he wasn't being rude or nothing, but he was literally practically trying to shove me out of doors, like, you gotta go. He literally said, you gotta go. So I'm trying to figure out what was the message he was trying to say. Was I supposed to go to her? Was I supposed to go take care of my brother? What was I supposed to do? Okay, I've had dreams before.
Okay, hold on.
Go ahead.
Kathleen, let me see if I can get some spiritual guidance.
And keep in mind, my friend is Native American.
Okay. So while Mark is doing this, Kathleen, we just ask you to just see if you can just be silent until Mark asks you a question. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Do you know if either if your friend or her husband, let's focus on her husband, was his cause of death related to some type of condition with his blood? It could be an internal hemorrhage or a bleed out, or it could be some disease of the blood.
He was diabetic.
Okay.
And I believe he had a heart attack.
Okay. Oh, there's blood-related issues there because with diabetes, that's when your red blood cells stop accepting insulin. I believe I've got him here. He said you need to go to your brother. It's like you've done everything you can do for his wife. So it wasn't saying you got to go, like get out. He's basically, you are on a mission right now, and your mission is to, he says, spread good cheer. Now, by good cheer, that doesn't mean you run in and go, hey, sorry, you're in ICU. Hey, well, let me tell you a joke. But the good cheer is showing these people that you care, being inspirational, showing compassion. And right now, it's your brother who needs you. You've helped her. Now it's time to move to your brother. That's what he wants you to know. Okay? And what's with coconut? Coconut? I'm tasting coconut. Do you love coconut? Hate coconut? If I say coconut.
I love coconut water. I drink coconut water.
That's the verifiable fact following the message. When a spirit gives me a message of an explanatory or advisory nature, which your friend's husband said it's time for you to go to minister unto your brother. Okay, that's the message. And then when he follows that up with an objectively verifiable fact, coconut, you love coconut water. The verifiable fact of coconut water is how the Spirit's letting you and I know that we've properly received and interpreted the message before that. So, to paraphrase Dr. Pat, you go, girl.
Yeah, exactly. You got that?
Yeah, I've got my friend's little toy Pomeranian with me because her brother couldn't take care of him. So I've got his name is Wanagi. So I'm at least helping that way.
Of course you are. That's major. Good job on that. Thank you so much for calling in. Wow. Whew. Jessica. Come on, Jessica.
Sorry, yes, I'm just not as quick as you. Let's go to Danette from Connecticut.
Don't worry, Jessica, you'll get there. Promise. Go ahead.
Jessica rocks. Danette from Connecticut.
Hey,
okay,
Danette.
that rhymes. Danette, Connecticut.
How are you doing?
Hi, how are you? Hey, how can we help you tonight, Danette?
Huh? It's going to be 32 years that my dad's been gone on Father's Day. And I've been seeing him around. His spirit's been around. And he had never been in my apartment, ever. He died in 1994. And and then the middle of the night, I woke up and I saw my whole entire family at the foot of my bed.
How cool is that? See, now I look at that as that's exciting. That's cool. Okay. And now your spirits, this is, I'm trying not to laugh, but they're making me taste candy corn. You know, candy corn that you get at Halloween? So,
yeah,
candy corn.
They know that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Dislikes are just as important as likes, but let me finish before all right, let me finish. So candy corn, all right, can mean you like it or dislike it. In this case, you dislike it, but it can also mean an event right around Halloween. But I like to expand it to the whole Scorpio timeframe because Halloween's in Scorpio, October 31st. Scorpio runs basically from around October 20th to around November 20th. So are there any births, deaths, anniversaries, or events of significance connected to you or someone close to you or one of your family members within Scorpio, roughly October 20 to November 20?
October 5th was my sister and my brother-in-law's anniversary.
But that's Libra. We're in Scorpio. Yeah.
Scorpio.
November when my sister Carol and my brother died. One died the day before Thanksgiving, and one died 2 days after Thanksgiving.
Okay, that's more Sagittarius, but we're in the neighborhood there. Could there be something of significance with Halloween for you? I mean, some people like it, some people don't like it, or is there something
I
coming?
like Halloween.
Okay, well, there we go.
Candy.
All right, you like Halloween,
Yeah.
you just don't like candy corn. And look, I can understand that because candy corn, I mean, when I was a little kid, I liked it. But I mean, what is it? It's corn syrup. That's what it's corn. It's corn syrup. I mean, if I'm going to eat candy these days, I want some really good dark chocolate. I mean, we're talking, the good stuff. Now, let's see. Yeah, exactly. All right, hold on. Oh, what is with you and almonds? Boy, I'm getting a lot of flavors tonight. This is kind of cool. Almonds. Do you love them? You love almonds. Okay, so we got your spirits here, and they're cracking me up. Yeah. Do you have a sister in spirit?
I have two of them.
They're talking about you shampooing your hair, and they're making fun of the way you do it, and they're showing you in the shower shampooing your hair, and there's just like this mass of shampoo. Now we all shampoo our hair, and it gets all sudsy, but there's got to be something about shampoo or your shower or shower head, because they are just giggling about this. What is going on with your hair, your shampoo?
I was making animals out of my shampoo. I took some shampoo off my hair, and I made like little animals on it.
Okay.
What a great idea.
That is hilarious, and that is so cool. And that's why your sisters are laughing about that, because they saw you doing that, and they think it's great. And you see, when you woke up and you saw your family around you, what they're letting you know is they're around you. They're aware of what's happening. Some people start freaking out and go, oh my God, they're here. They're going to take me. I'm going to die.
No, I just said hi and I went back to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. They're around you all the time.
Stay as long as you want.
Exactly. And that's the way to do it. And you may want to tell them, try not to disturb me when I'm sleeping, but I do appreciate you being around. Okay, Dr. Pat, go right ahead.
That's okay.
So I have just one question. Did you have a question?
No, go ahead.
No, you didn't have a question. I have absolutely nothing to add, because I think Mark did a great job of that, right? I mean, you are a very amazing spirit, right? And that's so cool, because your openness when you came on, it really opened the door, and Mark was able to give you some amazing information, right? And I think, part of this is it's getting a reminder that we are eternal beyond the body. You know what I'm saying?
My brother came around, and I always put my milk on the left side of my refrigerator.
Yeah.
On the second shelf. It was on the right side.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
okay.
He's been doing that to me all the time.
I do that too. I put my milk on the left side. What does that mean? Well, I'll have to think about that. I put it on that. It's probably because I'm right-handed.
Moved into the right side.
I know what it is. Yeah. So yeah, you got your family's having some fun with you. Look.
Oh yeah.
Live life full out.
Oh no, I don't
Just
mind.
Live
I
life
know
full
that's
out.
French on me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a happy Father's Day, Mark.
Oh, thank you.
Can we have Amanda, please, Jessica?
Can do. Let's go to Amanda from Connecticut. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Hi, Amanda. How can we help you? We got about 6 minutes, and we want to get to what you want.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I have never been able to connect with. I have 2 kids in spirit, and one would have been 6 this past weekend on Saturday, and then my last one's anniversary is coming up on June 22nd. And the last one I really never got closure of after I lost them, but I've never connected with either one of my kids.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Amanda. Really sorry.
Amanda. Amanda, are you a member of Helping Parents Heal?
No, but I always hear you guys talking about it.
Yes. After the show, go to helpingparentsheal.org. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to shining light parents, which you are a shining light parent, which means that the light of love that you have for your children shines within your heart, and the light of your children's souls shine ever brighter in eternity. They have online events. They have branches all over the place, and it costs nothing to join. Now let's see if we can get hold of. Was this a boy and a girl?
Honestly, I don't know what they were.
Okay.
Okay, and the reason that I'm asking is I'm seeing a blue star and a pink star. Blue stars are boys, pink stars are girls. And when I see a star, that's the spirit of a baby that did not come to term or who died very close after being born. So, and it appears that the second one, the star is smaller. So, the second child that you lost, was that early in your pregnancy?
That was early. That I don't even know really how many weeks. It was when COVID was just happening, so they couldn't really determine what was going on, and they think that might have been 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But as a result,
Yeah.
I have my rainbow baby.
Okay. Yeah, so that's why the star appears smaller. That doesn't mean her soul is diminished. It just is a way for them to let me know that it was earlier in your pregnancy. These spirits are around you quite a bit because the spirits of our loved ones are, but they're telling me that in the wake of your grief, you've lost your way spiritually. Now, hold on. That's not anything negative. Losing your way spiritually means that you're overcome with the waves of grief, pangs, Pangs, pangs of guilt. And it's not unusual for a mother who loses a child in utero to feel guilty. And even though you're very desirous of the conduct, you're unintentionally blocking that because of the grief. And it's going to take time for you to begin feeling their presence. And what they're telling me is it's going to happen more in the dream state, because when you're awake, you're really trying hard to communicate with them. And what I recommend is, instead of saying, I want the contact, say, I welcome the contact. You see, you're changing it from this desire and angst to a, I welcome the contact. Be patient. Spirits are not on our schedules. They're on their own schedules. They're going to come through. Oh, and they keep making me taste peppermint, 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 which could be a significant event. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Oh my God. So the first time, which that might be a guilt because that was a hard pregnancy. For weeks before I knew, I kept telling all of those and my current daughter that's going to be 3, Liliana, Dad, I kept saying for weeks, I said, I'm smelling peppermint. I'm tasting peppermint. I'm tasting coffee. And at the time, he had a daughter that was maybe 6, 7. So I would get these waves. And my daughter's the older sister, regardless, was like, Dad, Amanda's smelling the coffee and peppermint and mint. And they're looking at me like, you're crazy. But that was the first pregnancy. That one would have been 6. And I wanted to ask, I feel that my daughter is seeing them, because Saturday night, my daughter randomly started singing Happy Birthday out of nowhere. And I said, how many candles are on the cake? Which there was no cake. And she said, 5, Mommy. And this one would have been 5 turning 6. So I don't know. And this is the same one that I was smelling the peppermint before I knew I was pregnant.
You got it. There you go. So see, they are coming through. They're coming through to your daughter, and vicariously through her, they're coming through to you. So
yeah,
I'll leave that with you.
Yeah, Amanda, thank you so much for calling in. And as I said before, we always love hearing from you. Our hearts go out to you, and I hope you can put a smile on your face after this reading.
Thank you. It all makes
You
sense.
bet.
I just needed to connect with them with this month.
I know. I have no idea how that works, but I'm telling you, it works. Thank you so much, Mark. What a great show. Again, would you remind people how they can work with you, follow you, all of the above?
certainly please visit my website, afterlifefrequency.com. And I'll be in Denver next week at the Society for Scientific Exploration and at For Heaven's Sake Bookstore. You can find out about all of that by visiting the calendar of events at afterlifefrequency.com, and I invite all of you to sign up for my newsletter. Thank you. We have the best audience in the world, and I have the most incredible co-host on planet Earth. Thank you, and good night, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.